On this episode, Rob Dexter and Steve Bell from Kings County.
All right, today's guest is originally from Long Island, New York, now based in Orlando, Florida. The band Kings County creates a hard-hitting rock and roll with an infectious hooks. Here to chat with us about their latest single, What Now, we have Rob and Robbie Dexter and also Steve Bell with us. Everybody's here in the house today from Kings County. Guys, how's it going, man?
Hey, Rob. How's it going?
Good. How are you, brother? Thanks for having us.
Definitely. I know we had some issues before trying to get this lined up, and I'm glad we can weather that storm and everything that was going on, so to speak. But I want to start out and talk a little bit about the new track here, What Now? So I was reading a little bit about it. I'm not sure if Rob, you want to start, or Steve, you want to start. So this was originally a demo, I guess you guys had a while back.
Right.
Kind of decided to revisit it, maybe rejuvenate it a little bit with Chuck Alcasian's help.
There was a song we originally demoed in 2019, and it was one of those songs. It was really good, and hey, let's put it to the side. We'll work on a new song. And the years kind of went by, and we're like, we need new material. Let's bring back What Now? And here we are. It just came together so good, right, Steve?
Yeah, it was a case where we always knew it was a good song, right? But it just didn't have all the elements there. And I think, Robbie, you'll agree with me too. It's, having Chuck and having that great production behind us, that's one part of the team. Yeah, that's one part of the team that, always seems to put it over the edge. And that was the case for sure with What Now.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you need that third party, right? Just to kind of look at it, from a different perspective for you. Sometimes give some input, maybe make some changes, or let you think about it, in a different way, if you will. I know a lot of times, a great producer can definitely do that for any band.
Chuck has a great term. He calls it demo-itis, because you're so used to the demo that no, we can't.
Yeah, we talked about that before when he was
we can't change it. But he's the outside listener giving you, really good advice.
Right.
Yeah, it definitely pushes the process along. Like I said, it's the finishing touches, because we agreed that this was a song that we both liked. And, it's just something that we needed that secret element, really, Chuck, to go in there and kind of seal the deal for us.
Yeah, definitely think he did a great job for you guys with that. And also, let's talk a little bit about, so the band's undergone some evolution here now. Rob, you got your son here, Robert, here playing bass with you. Tell me how this came about. Very cool. I'm loving that.
Well, it was probably about a year?
September of last year, yeah.
Yeah. He just started picking up the bass. And I don't know, with these younger generation, they learn so quick.
Everything is very fast now.
Yeah.
Gotta be it's very like this. Yes.
I mean, what I took years to do, Rob was like, all right, got it. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
So let's bring him in. Yeah. Inject some youth.
Yeah, definitely. That was definitely a great idea for sure. So Robert, I wanted to ask you about your influence here. Obviously, your father was your first influence. Other bass players and stuff that came to mind that really kind of drove you to do this?
Paul Gray from Slipknot, he died. Yeah, he was a great bass player. I look up to him. He's really good. I really like how he plays and all that. So, yeah.
Very, very cool. So another thing I want to talk to you about, and maybe you can speak to this, Steve, is you guys put together the new video for this, and they're calling it was the do-it-yourself project. You guys kind of returned to your roots, doing your own video shooting for this in Tampa at a soundstage, I guess.
Yeah, it was always a good experience. That's one part of the whole process that we really like, because obviously it's a digital age, right? I mean, people are on their phones or on their computers, so we always try and put our content, especially when it comes to videos. We always try and put our best foot forward with that. And this one, yeah, we took a homegrown kind of approach to it, but it was well thought out. Rob's got a great overall macro vision about stuff. He can picture things in his head and really bring it to fruition. And this was definitely a case where it was kind of sparse lighting, but we had a lot of blinking lights. It was dark, so it had a cool atmosphere. It was definitely a cool atmosphere. It wasn't quite as epic as the few previous videos that we had taken on over the last couple of years. But yeah, I think the results they're powerful. We're really digging the results. That's for sure.
Yeah, very, very cool. It's still so important, and I don't know if everybody realizes that it's still important to have that video for your track to highlight it. And some bands are doing different things with it. I just spoke to Carmen Apiece. He's doing the AI route, which actually turned out pretty cool for him. Some people are giving him some negative feedback on it, but I thought it actually turned out pretty cool. So sometimes you got to try new things and mix it up.
I mean, it's great to do the big production, with the top-notch directors, but they're very costly. There's a lot of time involved. So sometimes it's better to go real basic and just keep it raw.
Yeah, and you can get all your friends in on it, and just make it a fun event. I was just seeing Lorraine Lewis is going to be shooting a video in LA, and she's just inviting everybody to come on down or bring their cars and do that. I was like, that's a great idea. That sounds like a lot of fun, kind of like the early videos in MTV days where it was kind of just like that, right? It was just fun.
And a lot of times, YouTube, we like to make crazy videos, really over the top. And a lot of times YouTube will shut it down.
Really?
Because it's too, if you try to do ads or promote it, they'll shut it down because of maybe it's too over the top. And that kind of works against you. If you're a really big band, you can get away with it. But when you're really trying to push a upcoming band, you got to play it safe as far as you do.
Yeah, it's interesting you bring that up, because I was just reading today, so back in the day, obviously Van Halen was huge in the 80s. And when they first came out with the Pretty Woman video, MTV wasn't too happy with it.
Right.
I guess I really didn't see a lot of issue with it, but obviously I'm not a worldwide audience myself. So I guess they took some issues with that and chopped it down. So I guess that's definitely something you have to think about, obviously, when you're creating these things, right?
Yeah, absolutely. If you keep it just the band, a kind of a live performance, you're good. You'll get away with it.
Yeah, I think that's always the best bet, just to showcase the live experience, because that's what it's all about.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. Getting the song out there.
Yeah, definitely. And so speaking of songs, you guys, you had a great track in 2026. Also, you did a hard cover of In Excess's Don't Change.
Yeah.
Was really, really outstanding for you guys. Tell us a little bit about that. And I want to talk about another cover you did a little while back also, but let's focus on that one first.
Go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, we're song guys, and a good song is a good song, right? So this was a song that we've been playing live for, a little bit, and the same type of thing. We just kind of thought to ourselves, we should really put the production to this one. We should get Chuck involved. The same type of process that we've been doing, with What Now,
right?
We've been doing with a handful of songs at this point,
right?
But we like to take a good song and just kind of funnel it through us. And, with a cover song, there's a lot of bands that, we only do originals, we only do this, with a cover song, half the heavy lifting's been done already because people know the song. Now, whether they like it or not, of course, is, you could go on forever about that.
Right. That's the double-edged sword of it, right? It's a known
Correct.
track, but if they're
Correct.
not happy with the way you're covered, it could be death for you too, right?
Exactly. You could have ruined their day on that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, you just kind of take what we do and our strengths and take a good song and get the team together and make it happen. And I really like that song. I thought Chuck did a great job. We all did a great job on that one. I think the song itself just, it kind of comes at you. It's a great song. Those guys wrote a bunch of great songs. That's not the only one. So yeah, it's always a pleasure to remake something, but do it your own way.
Yeah, definitely put your own spin on it. And that's what a lot of great bands have done, like we just talked about what Van Halen did with Pretty Woman. So Rob, back to you, talking about cover tracks. You guys also did a cover with Marilyn Manson's Beautiful People.
Right.
You're kind of getting a little collection of some of these covers. Are we thinking about maybe doing a cover album a la, Tesla just put out a cover album. Bands are still doing this. They still put out albums with covers or EPs,
That's a great idea. That's a really good idea.
I mean, they still do it. Like you said, it's the double-edged thing. You gotta it's gotta be material that fits just right for your band.
Right.
And I think that's the hardest part to do that. Obviously you're not gonna please everybody, but you never know.
You always find someone with a problem,
Yeah.
Well, I don't like it, or a lot of these, like even with Marilyn Manson, he's got a really strict following, so to speak, and they're very critical.
Yeah. Did you get feedback on that? Can you share any of the feedback you got on that?
The majority of it was great, but you got those hardcore followers that were like, you'll never be able to make it great. I mean, you got to expect that.
Oh yeah. You're not trying to recreate what it was. You're just trying to kind of brand it for yourself a little bit, right?
Right.
Yeah. And having said that too, you're kind of, people that haven't heard the song, because, say you're doing a song like In Excess came out in the 80s, you're turning on a new generation to a song they've never heard before. A lot of people didn't realize Live and Let Die wasn't Guns N' Roses when it came out. I mean, that's it's a generational thing where you're turning this younger crowd into some great songs that were around previously.
I was just speaking to someone last week, and they were watching a Judas Priest cover band, and they're doing not Judas Priest, they're doing a Fleetwood Mac cover band, and they're doing Green Manalishi, right? And I'm like, then they didn't understand it at first. I'm like, yeah, they were the first ones to do that song. It wasn't a Judas Priest song.
Exactly.
Yeah. But definitely to your point, right? A lot of folks don't know that some of the older material that people cover and bring back, since the song is done so well, they think it's that band.
Sure.
I mean, it's a win-win. I mean, you got people that know the song, and then people think it's a new Kings County song.
Right.
So
right.
It's a win.
Exactly. So let's go back a little bit. Something very cool for you guys in 2018. You entered the iHeartRadio Original Song Contest with your song Take It or Leave It. Grand prize opening for Bon Jovi at a sold-out date at Orlando's Amway Center. Now, that had to be an amazing shot in the arm. All of a sudden, you're on stage with, what 30,000, 50,000 fans here. What was that like?
Well, I do remember getting the call from Rob. A lot of times, you put your name out there, you put your song out there, you put your band out there, and you get kind of lost in the shuffle. Right. And I remember Rob calling me after, I think he had just snuck it in there before the deadline type of thing. Let's, what the heck, we'll put our hat in.
Right. Why not?
Rob called me a couple weeks ago and said, or afterwards, after he had put the song in, and said, "Are you sitting down?" and I was, and it was a crazy thing, but a great experience for the band nonetheless. Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah. So Rob, how was it opening for Bon Jovi? Was it the typical opening? You guys don't get the lights, you don't get the sound. Was there any of that? They used to go on a lot, maybe not so much anymore.
No, they were pretty flexible with the lights and sound. There was really no issue. It was great. I mean, what an experience.
Yeah, just that had just be amazing. Definitely.
20,000 people sold out.
Yeah, that's just amazing. And I guess he's coming back. I guess his voice is back in action and he's ready to go. He did some trial shows, I guess, that were kind of on low key, in front of some friends now, but I guess they've released dates and I guess they're gearing up to go. I don't know. A lot of people were thinking that wasn't going to happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, he's doing I think it's like 9 shows at the Garden. And it's crazy.
Yeah. That'll be I think that's the real ultimate test, right?
Yeah.
And you're almost like in your hometown type of thing. So if anything goes, I mean, he'll have that all under control there. Definitely.
And we wish him luck, man. I must say, just to interject, he sat down with us. We had a nice talk with the guy and super cool, super down to earth. And, that guy has sold so many records. He's, been to the pinnacle of the business, really, at the end of the day. And a lot of respect. And he treated us great. He really did. It was I equated, bro, to like pitching for the Yankees for like 2 innings. You know what I mean?
Right.
You didn't get the full game. You don't get a full game. It's like punting for the Jets. But, it was a great experience overall. Yeah.
Well, the catering was great.
It was craft services was kicking butt that day.
Oh yeah, it was great.
That was awesome.
Nice. That's always good to hear. That some of these stars still take that time, and talk to some of the up and coming bands and things like that. Obviously, when he was up and coming, his mentor Bruce Springsteen, he was talking to all the time back in the day, and he had a big following of people that he knew in Jersey to get all this going. You know what I mean? But yeah, that was huge. I mean, Bon Jovi was everywhere, like 86, 87. You couldn't go anywhere without hearing a Bon Jovi song, right?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
All right. So moving on. So next I want to talk a little bit about what keeps you guys motivated and inspired. So Rob, we'll start with you. Kind of what motivates you maybe to create new music or keep this going? It seems that it's even more difficult nowadays to get your band recognized and out there, even though there's so many more avenues to do it with, right? It's just that there's white noise all over the place trying to get heard. It's so crazy.
Well, because there's so many ways to get your music out there, that means everyone is doing that. I think they say it's like 10,000, maybe more songs a day uploaded to Spotify. I mean, it's just bombarded with new music, which is great. But, they say 99% of it is garbage. So, just try to put out great music. We really enjoy writing, creating new songs. So, that's we keep the ball rolling. And hopefully, we got a new song coming, which is really going to kick ass. It's really cool. Hopefully, probably in a month, we'll release it. But just keeping the train rolling.
Yeah, definitely got to have new stuff and new things happening. So same for you, Steve. What keeps you motivated and inspired just to keep this train moving along?
Yeah, a lot of things do, I think, primarily it's the music, of course. That's what we do. We put out songs. It's never boring. There's always avenues and places you can go mentally, physically with music. So it's really about keeping the process. It's like anything, it's like a trainer, it's like a boxer, it's anybody. You got to keep doing your craft, right? And it's not going to be a beautiful day every day. You're not going to come out with the results every time. This takes work. And I think that's one thing about Rob and me is that we're willing to go through the process to get the results that we want. And whatever that is, and a lot of people, they can be super rigid about whether it's their guitar tone or whether it's a lyric or whether it's people aren't listening to your music like that. And you got to remember that. It's really about the whole picture, right?
Right.
I mean,
what I always like when artists, say, when they're working with artists, you should play to the song. You don't want to overplay it. You should play to that song, to whatever fits to that song, right?
Correct. And to your abilities, because everybody can't do everything, right? So there's always going to be a point where, you're going to have to make some concessions here and there. But, Rob and I think very similarly when it comes to the music that we're putting down and what we're trying to create as a whole. And I think that's a big thing, is understanding the big picture and not getting bogged down by the little stuff, and kind of just, I don't know, it dilutes the creative process in my eyes, and be able to, have your ears open and, just work hard at it. Passion comes through if it's true, and I think that's one of the things that, we do approaching a song, having kind of a vision of what we're thinking with this song. And I really enjoy the team aspect about it, the production side with Chuck and Rob and me, and getting the musicians together and make everything happen. So, yeah, it's always great to hear a finished product, and it never gets old. It really doesn't, when it comes to, the process, number one. And number two, seeing the results is always great, and people's reactions, of course.
Right, definitely. When you get the reactions, you get the streams, or you get when you're live and you get those people singing your songs. I think that's got to be the most profound, outstanding thing, singing your songs back to you, right?
Oh, yeah.
It really is. Even if they don't realize that, we can tell that they're singing the lyrics. It's yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. That's definitely seals the deal. We did something right.
For sure. So, Rob, what's up next? You said, there's a new track coming, but you guys have any dates or shows you want to talk about? Anything in the pipeline or happening with that?
Well, we pretty much play 3 times a week. We constantly play all through Florida, Alabama, Georgia. So every week we're doing shows. So, it's great. Florida, there's a lot of coastline, a lot of venues. So we just pop out, which is great for us because, you're really honing in on your craft, playing live as much as possible.
Yeah, definitely. So if people want to know the dates, should they check the website or the social, or where should they go?
Usually we have our dates on our Facebook, which is Kings County Band. So it'd be facebook.com/Kings County Band.
All right, very, very cool. So, folks, you can check out that, and you can stream the new single, What Now, from Kings County. All right. So that wraps up this episode of Talking About Rock. Thank you to my guests today, Kings County, and to our fans out there. We hope you're doing your part by keeping the torch alive and supporting live music wherever you are. Guys, again, thank you so much.
Thanks, Rob.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it.